Welcome to the Four Listeners Program. Welcome aboard, everybody. Thanks for checking us out this week. What up, everybody? I'm Spear. On the mics with me this week is the Z-Man. What is up, Z?
Once you taste the flavor, then you get the fever. Then you got the fever for the flavor of a Pringle.
Nice.
Remember that jingle?
Yeah, that's nice. That's from the way back.
That's like 60-something. Yeah, 65, I think they said.
Jesus, that's crazy.
Yeah.
No Ganthor this week.
Ganthor's trying to get it on with Ariel.
Yeah, in the cloaca. This week, something must be done about junk food, and it's apropos because I think I just polished off half a bag of goldfish.
I just put down half a bag of Cheetos.
Yeah, I've kind of given up on watching my weight for the next few weeks. It's the holiday season, but in the meantime, what I find myself now is I graze, right? Because I know I have chips or something in the cabinet, and sometime around 8 o'clock, 8:30, I find myself just kind of ambling over to the cabinets in the kitchen, opening them up, and I know what's in there. Find myself pulling out the bags of chips, and then I don't even portion out some chips. I'll put them in a bowl.
No,
you just grab the whole thing and then just stick your hand in there and just start shoving whole handfuls into your fucking mouth hole.
Well, that's I think the biggest key for not going crazy is don't even buy it. If it's in the house, you're going to eat it.
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
No one has enough willpower to hold off on that.
No, certainly not this intrepid podcaster. I end up buying this stuff mostly because I send it to school. I have these little snack bags, right?
Yeah, it's for the kid.
It's for the kid.
Yeah, of course.
Of course it's for the kid.
Of course.
Of course it is. I just find myself eating them. I don't know if it's an addiction or something along those lines. I know I can control it in the event that I want to actually try to lose weight.
Only for so long, though. Again, if you have it in the house, you're going to eat it. So the whole key is don't buy it when you're at the store.
I guess you're right. I mean, if I know I'm trying to lose weight, I probably will be less inclined to purchase said junk food.
Right, that's the key.
Yeah, that's the real key, isn't it? Because you're right. If it's in there and I know it's there, I'm going to wander over there. And while you're wandering over there, you're going, "Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't open the cabinet. You know it's behind. You know it's behind that door." And then what do?
You open the cabinet.
You open the cabinet. And then you're staring at it.
And then you get the taste for it. So then you get the salty goodness on your lips.
Yep.
And you can't just eat one.
Nope.
There's no such thing as eating one chip or one Oreo or one whatever.
Nope. And a serving size of chips is
one.
It's 8 chips.
Yeah.
You did that Pringles thing.
That's 140 calories.
That's right. You did that Pringles thing. I think I was at the point where I was counting them out. I think 12 Pringles is a stack of one serving of Pringles.
And what's in a box? 4 servings?
No, there's more than that.
In a tube? No.
Yeah. You don't even know how thin 12 Pringles is in a stack.
Yeah, I'll easily polish off an entire tube.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You look at that small stack of 12 Pringles and you look at it and you go, "That's it." God damn it.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, and just with it, just like you said, it's 100 and something calories and it's 12, 15 grams of fat.
No, I don't even look at that part, and don't even think about the sodium either.
No.
What's your biggest weakness? Which one?
Doritos.
Is it Doritos? Doritos is one of those things I will not buy them because I know I will eat that fucking $4.50 bag in one sitting. In a shot. And what is that? That's got to be 4,000 calories.
God only knows.
Sometimes if I have to have it, if I'm really hungry for them, I'll get that little one, the $1 bag.
Even for me, that's something of a cock tease.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You want more after that?
I'm looking to. I get through that 99-cent bag and I'm looking for another one.
Oh, no. You got to buy the one bag and just, yeah.
I can sit and watch a Star Wars movie with a bag of chips and then be 3/4 of the way done with it and be reaching through the bottom looking for crumbs.
Yeah.
And then you do the real pathetic thing where you hold the bag up to your face and you're pouring the crumbs into your mouth hole.
Mm-hmm.
You do this, right? I'm not alone in this?
Yeah, no, everyone does that, dude.
Oh, my God.
They should just put a little funnel on it just to make it easier.
So quick release latch on the bottom of the bag so that you can get it in the corner.
And you can't lie about you doing it, too, because you're always going to have a little bit of orange speck on your corner of your lip or
That's
something.
Right. That's right. Or you can see orange under the fingernails or whatever. Yeah. After you've sucked all of the cheese dust off of your fingers.
I saw a life hacker article the other day, and they were saying is take a pepper grinder and start putting other shit in it other than pepper. And one of the things they had listed was Doritos.
No.
Like, can you imagine seasoning all your foods with Dorito crumbs?
Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
Right? They're talking about putting like peppermint candies in there. They're talking about putting like cheese doodles. They're talking about putting all kinds of different chips and stuff like that.
Like the puffed cheese doodles.
Like wasabi peas.
Oh man.
And you can like dust all your food with like wasabi dust.
Oh, how have I not considered taking puffed Cheetos or puffed cheese doodles?
Any of that shit.
Grinding them up and just taking that and just pouring it on whatever I eat. How have I not considered it? You want to know why?
Isn't that like amazing idea, right?
Because you would die. You would die.
It's no worse than me putting bacon on everything with bacon bits.
No, but I mean, it's a little bit different from putting like salt or pepper on.
I guess, yeah.
I don't know. It sounds fucking
amazing. Use it like an allspice, right?
That's right. I bake cookies with that shit.
Yeah, right?
Oh, man. The funny part about what we're saying is that it's all scientifically proven that this is what happens to you. Your body has this reaction, and then it craves that reaction. There's almost an addiction to it. And every bit of the chip or that junk food that you're eating is scientifically created. Every aspect of it, the shape of it, the texture of it, the seasoning, every bit of it is scientifically engineered so that you can't just eat one.
Yeah, well, mission accomplished because I can't.
There was an entire article published a couple of years ago in the New York Times. It was called The Extraordinary Science of Addictive Junk Food. There's an equation to this. It's salt plus fat squared over satisfying crunch times pleasing mouthfeel equals a food designed to addict.
That seems like a non-calculable thing.
It is, right? But I mean, it's by way of example, yeah. Right? They are specifically engineering these foods so that you become addicted to them and that you just plow through an entire bag of them. And I mean, part of it's starting with that crunch. Like you get that first crunch, whether it's a Frito or a Pringle or what have you. There's a very satisfying crunch that you kind of hear, and then the very first thing you get after that is the pop of salt.
Yep, a lot of salt.
A lot of salt, and then there's and that'll get your mouth watering a little bit. I mean, you think about it. You go through this. If you think about what's happening to you while you're eating it, you're going crunch, and then salt, and then you get hit with all the different flavors.
Yeah, the problem is that like you eat the first chip and you're like, oh my god, you recognize all that stuff. But by the second time you get into that 5th, 6th, 7th, 10th chip, you lose. It's not giving you as much pleasure, and it's that point where you have to just stop. And I can stop sometimes, especially if the chips are not like next to me. But then you're just like thinking about it, and that saltiness, that crunch comes back into your head, and you're like, yeah, I want more, I want more.
I want more, right? Because it's pleasurable, right? At that point, you're not eating for sustenance. You're eating for pleasure. And there's
how often are you actually eating for sustenance in anything you eat? Like, how often are you like, oh my god, if I don't eat, I really am going to die?
Well, I don't think I've ever gotten to that point. Thank God, I've never gotten to the point where I must eat or I will die. But there's a scientific term for eating for pleasure. It's called hedonic hyperphagia. This fucking for reals. There was a research study done in Germany where they decided to take a look at MRI pictures of rats, and some who had eaten a whole bunch of potato chips, and then some who just ate like rat food. And they found that the chips' high ratio of fats and carbs had the rats all tripping balls because their reward centers of their brains were lighting up more than the poor rat food assholes.
Oh, I'm not sure about that study, but my people are not usually very keen on German labs experiments.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend. My bad. But it's that there's a science around how much fat and carbs you include in the chip. There's a sweet spot where they say that in order to maximize the pleasure that you get from certain junk food or from certain snacks, the goal is to deliver half the calories that you're getting through fat. And what's funny is that the breakdown of how Doritos affect you first is that when you start eating Doritos, the fat will start to melt in your mouth. And that's and what that does is it tricks your brain into thinking that the calories have disappeared too. And this is what food scientists call vanishing caloric density. So what that does is that it delays when you start to feel full.
So they're intentionally making you want to eat more.
Yes.
It seems like there's a huge market for healthy alternatives to junk food. And like you would think that these people would take advantage of that and not trigger it to make you want to eat more, but trigger it the other way.
I guess the problem is that the healthy stuff isn't going to have enough fat and salt and carbs to trigger the same kinds of pleasure centers. They say here that in order to maximize the pleasure in snacks, the goal is to deliver half the calories through fat, and nacho cheese Doritos hits this mark precisely. Scientists say fat is experienced not as a basic taste like sweetness or bitterness, but rather as a sensation, with a mouthfeel that has all the power of sugar or salt. And they say that fat is one of these things that sends a signal straight to your brain's pleasure center. It is literally tickling your pleasure center.
Tickling my fancy.
That's right.
How do you think they came up with this perfect ratio for like Doritos, like the perfect fat content and all that?
Well, they do taste tests on all this shit, like focus groups and stuff.
Yeah, like I want to be in on that shit. How do you sign up for that?
Oh my God, how do you sign up for that?
Like, can you imagine, like, okay, so you have to assume that whatever they came up with is like somewhere in the middle between the most fat in the world and the least fat in the world in a chip. So it's got to be somewhere in the middle. But like, can you imagine tasting those endpoints when they're like, okay, this is the most fat you can actually put into a chip. Do you like this?
Well, right.
And then you get to try it. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's really good.
Oh, my God. And then you just watch people's eyes just roll into the back of their heads. Yeah, that'll work. Just check that off on the...
They start just pounding on their chest. Oh, yeah, my heart's going. Get it going again. Give me more.
Yeah. I don't know. How do you get that job? I guess I should have done better in chemistry.
Yeah. Or slept with the boss's daughter at Frito-Lay or something.
Yeah, I can still do that. That's fine.
Yeah. There you go. Second job.
Sure. What's the best part of eating Doritos?
Licking off the orange cheese off your
fingers. Licking off the orange cheese. They say that licking the dust from your fingers, the cheese dust, without the chip to dilute any of the impact of eating it, sends an even larger flavor burst to your brain to trigger that pleasure center even harder.
So how's Frito-Lay not marketing that directly, just as a fucking condiment?
Right. How are they not just selling gold dust, this cheese dust?
Yeah.
Right.
No, literally gold dust.
Gold dust. How are they not selling just that? I would put it on everything.
Right?
I mean, it's amazing how there's a science behind this stuff. That's why I'm so fucking fat.
Yep. You can't avoid it. You can't fight science.
No, you can't fight science. It's all there. It's all
the only
right
way
there.
The only way to battle this is to have never tried them in the first place. And that's why God. I hate lobster.
Oh wow! Is lobster one of your Achilles heels?
No, like lobster is one of those things I still have never eaten it.
Oh, so you don't want to try it
because there's no point in me wanting to eat it, because once you open that door and I understand what lobster is, I'm going to want to eat it all the time. Like everyone's like, oh, lobster's the best. Lobster's this, lobster's that. It's like, okay, great. I've lived my whole life without having lobster. Don't need to cross that off my list.
You know, I've had lobster. It's okay. I'm not a big shellfish fan by and large.
Yeah.
I'm not a fishy guy. I prefer to eat things that are more land-based. What's the chip that you would go running out for?
I mean, I'm a Dorito guy too. There used to be this popcorn called Grandma Gibbles. It came in a white bag. It was Grandma Gibbles. Like I like Smart Food too, but like Grandma Gibbles, I remember being more buttery and salty than Smart Food, which is more of a cheesy.
Yeah, it's white cheddar. Yeah.
Yeah. So that stuff used to be amazing. I used to get into that a lot.
I can't say I've had that. I mean, nacho cheese Doritos are my downfall. Doritos in general, like Doritos, nacho cheese, Cool Ranch, the sweet and spicy chili, I like, and then I kind of drop off from there.
What about the Doritos Locos, the Taco Bell one?
Nah, I never had that.
Oh, really?
I haven't tried it. Well, I mean, I've had the nacho cheese taco shells. Like you can get them in the supermarket.
Yeah,
it was okay. I wasn't going bananas about it.
I mean, it makes sense, right? You're eating a Mexican food. Why not throw some Doritos into it?
Well, not only that, but I mean, it just goes to the whole thing where I would sprinkle that fucking nacho cheese dust like right on top of the taco.
Yeah.
I think I would almost prefer that. I think I would almost prefer just putting as much of the nacho cheese seasoning as I possibly could on the top.
So pretty much, you're gonna have like 9 pepper shakers at your house now.
If I can get that shit in a shaker, I would absolutely.
You got to make your own.
Well, now I gotta go get a pepper grinder. I gotta go get a pepper grinder.
You're gonna go Bed Bath & Beyond. You're gonna get like 50 pepper grinders.
That's right.
They're gonna be all over your house.
That's right. Yeah, anywhere where I'm doing something, I just need to just. That's all
why do you have pepper on your coffee table? No, it's not pepper.
No, it's not pepper. Sorry. What is it? It's nacho cheese Doritos. How do you explain that? How do you explain?
I like to jerk off on the couch there and then sprinkle that all over my day.
My whole house would be orange. Everything everywhere is orange. What the fuck happened in here?
You know, like when Spurs come, there's blue everywhere. Chester Cheetos here.
That's right. That's right. There's like orange handprints all over the place.
Everything's sticky.
Oh man, Doritos are my downfall. I will also eat whole bags of Fritos if I'm given the opportunity. Because they're so salty. I love Fritos.
Fritos are all right. They're never really a huge draw for me. I mean, I'll eat a couple of them if they're there. Same thing. Like, do you like Funyuns?
I was about to bring up Funyuns. I love Funyuns.
Yeah, Funyuns don't do it for me.
Oh, I love them, and I can't find them anywhere either. And I happen to make mention of it.
You have to look in like 20-year-old vending machines.
Yeah, right. I happen to make mention of it at work, and they're like, "Oh, dude, Funyuns!" And then the next thing I know, somebody brought in a whole box of Funyuns, and I'm like, "Oh, I think I almost lost my shit."
Because that's what you need.
Yeah, I needed more Funyuns. Because Funyuns too. I mean, you're looking for mints or whatever the hell else, like candy canes.
That's just nasty.
Whatever you can get your hands on. Jesus.
The one for me that's the nastiest one, it's those Snyder pretzels. It's the honey mustard and onion.
Honey mustard and onions, yeah.
Oh, man, those things, they're so disgusting, and they taste so good.
I know. I know.
And they leave you stinking so bad.
So bad.
Oh, but they're so good.
So the other thing that goes really well with chips is soda.
Yep.
There have been studies done on soda too. What's the primary ingredient in Coca-Cola?
Soda water.
Sugar. Aside from water, right? It's sugar. It's extremely high levels of sugar, or worse, it's the high fructose corn syrup. A standard can of Coke has around 10 teaspoons or 39 grams of sugar or high fructose corn syrup in it. Just think about that for a second. I mean, when people make a cup of coffee, sometimes they'll put 1 or 2 teaspoons in a cup of coffee, right? This has got 10 teaspoons of sugar.
I can't even tell you the last time I've actually had a non-diet soda. I stopped watching it. I don't know if that's any better, but at least I'm not getting all that sugar.
So no calories in diet soda, but apparently it has all kinds of other interesting issues. The artificial coloring that they use, the caramel coloring, potentially has caused cancer in animals. Aspartame, which is in Diet Coke, I believe, breaks down into methanol, and our natural body temperature converts the methanol into formaldehyde, which is something used to embalm bodies. So you're slowly but surely embalming yourself. That's great. Aspartame is also a neurotoxin. I didn't know this. A neurotoxin, for those of you playing along at home, is something that is poisonous to nerve tissue, as in your brain or your spinal cord. So aspartame literally kills brain cells. Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
That's fucked up.
I got extras.
Yeah, I've killed so many with beer. Killing a few with aspartame isn't gonna matter. And drinking diet soda increases the risks of heart attack, stroke, cancer, osteoporosis, metabolic syndrome, heart disease, infertility, kidney damage, diabetes, and high blood pressure. Yikes. There's a lot of phosphoric acid in Coke too, and the phosphoric acid, the amount of phosphoric acid in Coke makes it one of the most acidic beverages available, with a pH rating of 2.5. So just to put that in perspective, battery acid eats through skin and has a pH of 1.
Yeah.
Pure water has a pH of 7, right? Right down the middle.
Yep.
And your blood needs to maintain a pH somewhere in between 7.35 and 7.45 for your cells to function appropriately. I mean, that's crazy. Like, you're affecting the pH balance of your body every time you drink a can of Coke.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't drink it.
Holy shit. Why did I look into this stuff, Z? Why are we talking about this?
I don't know. Let's talk about other stuff, like nerds.
Nerds? You mean the candy nerds?
Yeah.
I fucking love those things, man.
Yeah, those things are great, right? So I've gotten into two more things that have just become crack to me. Peanut brittle.
Peanut brittle.
Yeah, do you ever eat that?
Yeah.
The Chinese supermarket, the Korean supermarket around the corner from me has peanut brittle by the pound. And I unfortunately found this out the other day because I was looking through the things and I'm like, oh, I need another pound of that shit.
I need another pound of that shit.
Like nuts in general. I love just snacking on nuts. You want to see something that's going to get you fat. Look at how much calories are in nuts.
Yeah, but it's the good fat.
Yeah, it's the good fat, but it's still fat and still very high calories when you're eating like tubs of them.
No doubt about that. You know what I like to do? I like to take peanuts or cashews or what have you and then mix in some chocolate chips. And then I get that double whammy of fat and carbs.
Yeah. Well, you ever been to Wegmans? They got that. They got like that trail mix station. You can make your own trail mix.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Trail mix isn't really good for you.
No, trail mix is definitely not good for you unless you're on a fucking trail.
Unless you're on a trail walking it off.
How many calories you're spending? Yeah. Yeah. Snacking on trail mix and beef jerky is not a good idea.
No doubt. What do we learn? What do we learn about junk food, Z-Man? What do we learn?
I should probably stop drinking Coke.
I should probably stop drinking Coke or Diet Coke. And what else I learned? I learned that it's science that is fucking with us every time you eat a bag of Doritos.
Fuck them.
Fuck science. God damn it. So if you don't give a shit about science and you just want to dig down to that bottom of the bag of Doritos, why don't you go ahead and let us know on the Facebook page, facebook.com/4listeners or 4listeners.com. You can check out the show on Stitcher Radio or on iTunes. Just search for 4 Listeners. We'll pop right on up. Or you can tweet at us on the Twitters at 4 Listeners. We thank you for checking us out this week. We hope that you will check us out again next week. Thanks a bunch, everybody. We got the Pringles for the flavor of a Pringle fever! I'm gonna eat I wish I had a whole bag of Doritos right now. I'd go eat it.
You know what we should do? We should here. I could do this. That sounds like Doritos.
It sounds like Doritos.